These are some of the exclusives that tempted people to switch sides, or at least own a second console. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 exclusive franchises of all time.
You told me there wouldn't be any cameras.
And you told me you were gonna wear something nice.
For this list, we're only looking at those franchises that are exclusive to one console series, and they must contain at least 3 or more titles.
Sorry, fellas. First-time driver here.
The franchise can span across multiple generations of consoles as long as it started and has remained exclusive to one company's line of consoles, which unfortunately does rule out Metal Gear Solid and Crash Bandicoot. We're ranking the remaining entries based on their impact, legacy, and how consistently fun they are to play.
I knew you could do it!
Number 10, God of War series, Sony.
Challenge me, mortal? The god of Olympus?
Depending on what your interests are, Greek mythology can either be interesting or very boring. There's hardly any debate, however, about how awesome the first entry on our list is. This franchise stars Kratos, a Spartan warrior hell-bent on killing the Greek gods after he is tricked by Ares into killing his family. His astronomical rage leads him to take on the gods in some very impressive boss battles. It also leads to some of the goriest death scenes ever put in a video game. The rapid-moving storyline combined with the fast-paced action means there's never a dull moment in this franchise.
I am the god of war!
Number 9, Metroid series, Nintendo. What do you get when you combine the platforming of Super Mario, the adventure-like feel of The Legend of Zelda, and a plot inspired by the Alien movie series? You get a legendary space bounty hunter named Samus who protects the universe from aliens across the galaxy. This franchise technically started what is known as the Metroidvania genre, which led to such classics as Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the Vania part of Metroidvania. Despite its revolutionary gameplay, Metroid is not afraid to switch things up. This can be seen in the highly acclaimed Prime trilogy, which only solidified Samus's place in gaming history. Number 8, Gran Turismo series, Sony. Normally, part of what makes video games so great is their ability to absorb us into a world of fantasy. That is not the case for Gran Turismo, where its popularity comes from its ridiculously realistic feeling. Although the Forza Motorsport series bears this similarity, it simply hasn't had the same impact. Gran Turismo is known for featuring countless vehicles that can be driven and tuned using simulator-like gameplay and a realistic physics engine. With every new entry in the franchise, Gran Turismo reminds everyone what real racing should look like. Sony's highest-selling franchise, Gran Turismo is here to stay, and we couldn't be happier about it. Number 7, Gears of War series, Microsoft.
He never called, he never sent flowers.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this shit.
This next entry on our list inspired many shooters to come with its extraordinary gameplay and grand cinematic-like scale.
I've got to save my research.
When the first Gears of War game was released, it was immediately apparent that this was something special. It integrated a cover system that wasn't technically anything new, but became very popular as a mechanic in future games. Its gritty feel and epic storyline, spanning across 4 entries, keeps the player immersed in the world, while the always improving gameplay keeps things intense. Also, getting to wield a machine gun with a chainsaw bayonet is pretty sweet. Number 6, Super Smash Bros. Series, Nintendo. From its release, this franchise was destined to be a smash. Super Smash Bros. Put some of Nintendo's most beloved characters in a fighting game, with stages inspired by their own classic games. With fighting controls that are easy to learn but difficult to master, and an almost endless amount of unlockable content to find, the Smash Bros. Games are already entertaining to play on your own. But the multiplayer is where this franchise shines the brightest. Whether you're owning your friends as Mario or slashing through them as Link, the fun factor never gets stale, and every entry is almost as equally exciting to play. And that's why this franchise has become a staple in every Nintendo fan's collection. Number 5. Uncharted series, Sony. If you ever wanted to be like Indiana Jones, the games in this entry might just be for you. You play as treasure hunter Nathan Drake as he travels the globe with his friends in order to find, spoiler alert, treasure.
In Borneo.
Yes.
And the Chintamani Stone?
How do you know about that?
Borrowing heavily from the aforementioned movie franchise and the early Tomb Raider games, Uncharted delivers enormous action set pieces and pulse-pounding action unlike anything else out there.
Oh, crap!
Plus, the engaging characters make the downtime just as much fun as when things are blowing up or falling apart.
Going somewhere?
Maybe.
Number 4. The Legend of Zelda series, Nintendo. Throughout the years, Link has been portrayed as a boy abandoned in the forest, a ranch hand, a solo sailor, and no, we don't talk about that one.
How about a kiss? For luck?
You've got to be kidding.
I'm very sorry. Now in its 30th year, The Legend of Zelda has been a franchise that stays true to its formula, while at the same time isn't afraid to experiment with new themes and gameplay mechanics, no matter how controversial they appear on paper. Zelda is by far the most critically acclaimed series on this list, though its sales aren't quite as strong as the following entries. Number 3. Halo series, Microsoft.
You are the child of my makers.
When everyone thinks about some of the greatest shooters, there's a reason that the Halo games always come to mind. Halo weaves a story of one man's journey to save mankind from annihilation by not one but two different alien factions. Master Chief, the hero of the franchise, bears armor that makes him superhuman, but also the last of his kind.
Punch it.
Ah, sir.
But even if you aren't into the story, the beautiful skyboxes, and the space opera themes, then the multiplayer will surely keep you hooked for years, or at least until the next iteration comes out. Number 2, Pokémon series, Nintendo. The second most successful video game franchise also managed to nab the second spot on our list. Pokémon, or Pocket Monsters as it's known in Japan, is a series of RPG games where the player travels to different towns, collects creatures known as Pokémon, and battles with other players using those Pokémon. The aspect of collecting and trading cool monsters, combined with the option of battling with them against other players, makes the Pokémon games popular with people of all age groups from all walks of life. Its monster popularity has also led to it garnering success outside of the gaming world, seeing the likes of TV shows, movies, and, obviously, trading cards.
Pikachu! Quick attack!
Before we fanboy over our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I must get to Alero City. Dad! They are in danger. Whoa, hey.
Use the grab button to climb along a climbable surface.
Number 1, Super Mario series, Nintendo. Was there ever any doubt? The most successful video game franchise and everyone's favorite plumber could not fit anywhere else on our list. Responsible for fantastic spin-offs such as Mario Party and Mario Kart, not only are the Mario games regarded as some of the greatest games of all time, they're also responsible for some of the greatest milestones in gaming. From single-handedly reviving the industry from a devastating crash, to being the pioneer of 3D gaming, the Super Mario games can be picked up by anyone and they'll have a blast for hours, as long as they've got a Nintendo console. Thanks for watching Mojo Plays. Be sure to subscribe and click on the link in the description below to check out our suggestion page and vote on what content you'd like to see us cover next.